FanExpo is a yearly convention that takes place in the city of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The convention takes place in the Metro Toronto Convention Centre. This year it was held in the North Hall, but is usually held in the South Hall. FanExpo is made up of 5 different expos: Comic Book Expo, Sci-Fi Expo, Horror Expo, Anime Expo, Gaming Expo, which originally were 5 separate expos which gradually came together to become what it is today. With this growing popularity, this has allowed the organisers the opportunity for them to invite celebrities both past and present from all 5 genres. Guests this year included Bruce Boxleitner, Adam West, Burt Ward, Summer Glau, Michelle Forbes, Stan Lee, David Cronenberg and Lance Hendrickson, amongst many others. On the exhibition floor there are lots of dealers' booths with a wide range of items to buy, everything from comic books to the latest Doctor Who merchandise. There is also the Artist Alley, where comic book artists are sat and where fans of that artist can meet, chat and buy work and commission some from them. Also there are booths for various attractions, like the Alien Anthology booth, the Tron Legacy booth, the 1960s Batmobile in which you could sit and have a photograph taken. On the lower floors there are also fan tables where groups representing various genres can have a presence and allow people who are interested the opportunity to find out more information about them. One of the tables that got a fair amount of traffic was the 501st Fighting Legion table, where amongst other things for a donation you could fire a Nerf gun at a stormtrooper in the Imperial Blaster range. The first day of FanExpo started early for people wanting to get in line for their passes. The door for passes didn't open until 1:30 p.m, but there were people queuing outside the door at 9 a.m. While you get this at other conventions, at some you can pick up your passes the day before. Another feature of both FanExpo and many conventions are the fans who dress up in costumes based on the genres they follow. While it is possible to buy some costumes, a lot of them are made by themselves or with the help of family and friends and other like-minded people. Probably one of the most well recognised are the people who dress up as characters from Star Wars. A lot of their costumes are homemade, even with the more complicated characters like Stormtroopers and Darth Vader. A lot of the people who dress up in Star Wars costumes are part of the 501st Fighting Legion, with members all around the world, and in 2007 it was announced that they had been entered into the Guinness Book of Records for being the world's largest costuming group with currently 5,041 members. Also there is the Rebel Legion, who work alongside the 501st. While neither the 501st or the Rebel Legion are not sponsored by Lucasfilm, they are the preferred costuming group of Lucasfilm. On the first night there was the Canadian premiere of Jay Thompson's documentary Heart of an Empire, which shows the history of the 501st, talking to both members of the 501st and interviews with people who have worked on Star Wars, both cast and crew. It's a very moving documentary and well worth watching. Day 2 of FanExpo was going to be the busiest. By 10 a.m. the lines for people waiting for day tickets and to be able to get back in if an attendee had bought a deluxe or VIP premium badge were long, with the former wrapping around 2 sides of the convention centre. One costume caused quite a buzz in the main atrium, was a full-scale replica Dalek and was interacting with the attendees.
Get the other dog on the other side.
Inferior time-lock technology has no impact.
There we go. There
One of the big events that took place at midday was the presentation of the new Tron Legacy film that will be coming out on December the 17th. Due to restrictions, cameras weren't allowed in the theatre for the presentation, but I can report that they showed a working demo of the new Tron Evolution video game by the people who were developing it. Then they went on to showing a new trailer for the film in 3D. Thankfully they provided glasses for this, and not the old white cardboard blue and red ones, some modern ones. And if that wasn't enough, they showed a 7-minute clip from the film, and then they brought out Bruce Boxleitner, who had only been added to the guest list a few days prior to the conference. He talked about reprising his role of Alan Bradley and working with Jeff Bridges, who reprised his role of Kevin Flynn for this film, and then took part in a question and answer session. Not everything was going well with FanExpo. During the afternoon there were so many people trying to get in that they had to lock the doors. This upset some people on the outside who were queuing just to buy a ticket to get in, and people who had had a pass to get in were finding it hard to get back in. The other big event that took place on the second day was the Masquerade Ball, which was a lot of fun. There was a wide variety of costumes from all the genres covered by the expo. The Dalek also made an appearance. There wasn't a contestant. The third and final day of FanExpo was another busy day, but compared to the previous day, it was relatively quieter. While walking around the expo, I'd noticed a lot of people dressed up in Victorian costume, representing a growing genre within science fiction, steampunk. I asked Todd Clark from the Toronto Steampunk Society if he could explain to me what steampunk is and its origins.
Steampunk is a genre of science fiction. It's a subgenre of science fiction that grew out of Jules Verne's H.G. Wells novels and the cyberpunk movement. With, instead of having heavy electronic and futuristic steam powers, we have steam powers and powers of the Victorian era. So you can have a little gas and a little electricity, but mostly steam. H.G. Wells and Jules Verne weren't really science fiction or steampunk when they wrote it, but they're considered the grandfathers of steampunk now. It's a lot of fun to be in steampunk. You can do almost anything if you really think about the right way to do it.
One of the many panels that took place on this day was one put on by members of the 501st Fighting Legion and the Rebel Legion, the Canadian garrisons, named Jedi School, where they put on a display about various moments in the Star Wars history involving the Jedi and Sith, with key characters portrayed by both members of the legions. The exhibition floor was still busy, with vendors offering discounts on their merchandise, which is common on the last day of conventions, mainly so they don't have to carry as much back. FanExpo 2010 was a success. Despite the problems during the second day, no attendance figures have been publicised yet, but I suspect that the attendance figures will be close to 59,000 of last year, if not greater. 2 days after FanExpo ended, the president and CEO of Hobbystar Marketing Inc., the people behind FanExpo, sent out an open letter to attendees, apologising for the problems and promised that they would look into amending them, and that they had already booked the entire South Hall for FanExpo 2011.